Hello, you guys. Here we go. One more video, one more talk. We are going to be talking about astrology today. I so geek out on astrology. And one of the things that I so enjoy about astrology is that it truly, whenever you have the awareness similar to human design, whenever you have awareness of how these planets are impacting you and how their energies could potentially impact you, it is incredibly powerful. It is very but once again, it takes self-awareness. It takes awareness of, okay, this is my energy, this is how I express my energy, and this is how this planet expresses its energy. Like, what could that relationship be like within me? So it's an incredible tool, but ultimately, a lot of people like to blame retrogrades and certain things like the full moon or anything like that. Like, there are things that happen during the full moon, like, hospitals are always full during the full moon and other things. There are things that happen during that time. So not to say that it's not, this is what I'm about to say isn't true, but there is so much blame that gets put on, oh, it's because this planet's retrograde or because of this happening. And while that there is a lot of correlation and it definitely is impacted by it, ultimately this astrology, the more that I have become increasing my awareness in my connection with astrology, the more accountability and responsibility I have been able to have for my life. And it's only been because of I decided to stop saying, oh, it's because Mercury's in retrograde and I can't make a decision, or I can't successfully start my phone or whatever. I could do that, but then I could also step one step further up and be like, okay, well, let me slow down and not blame this. This is Mercury retrograde is also, the energy of this is also giving me an opportunity to reflect. It's giving me an opportunity to see something that I might not have seen before. And so it's actually Mercury retrograde right now as I'm recording this. So this is going to be fun. But lots of reflecting, lots of making sure that I'm in alignment with my true self, in alignment with things that bring me joy. So that is one of the biggest things that out of all of the, like, as I talk more and more about transits and more about, your personal natal chart, ultimately what this is all about is ultimately a tool for self-awareness. This is ultimately a tool to get you closer to you, to your true self, the parts of you that are deep down inside of you, underneath all of the wounds, underneath all of the pain, underneath all of the beliefs that you don't want to believe anymore, that you think you can't let go of. That is what all of this is about. This is not about us holding on to something outside of us as fact, as something greater. I mean, we do need that in order to be able to come in our true self. But these are all tools to, once again, come into our true self. So, all that to say, let me go back to my notes here. Okay, so the most common thing that everyone knows about, even whenever I talk to people about astrology, and I'm like, do you know your sun sign? They're like, no. And I was like, I'm like, when's your birthday? And they're like, oh, I'm an Aquarius, or oh, I'm a Gemini. I'm like, that's your sun sign. So it is the most commonly known, even before, whenever I was not really into astrology, didn't really believe in it. I knew that I was Capricorn. And so so that is the most commonly known. That is whenever you were born, what the stars, the sun, what the sun was in whenever you were born, where they were at in the stars. So, and that is ultimately associated with your essence, your being, in a lot of ways, your soul's purpose, even to a degree. The second most well known is going to be the moon and the rising, and these two come with your knowing your birth time and your location. You can type this in a free astrology. One of my favorite places. Well, there are lots of good places. Just type in free astrology birth chart, and you will find some good links. And I'm happy to put some in the notes too. But whenever the next second known, like I said, is the moon and the rising. And these top three ones that are most well known for everybody, those are the ones that impact us on a daily basis the most. Our energy, our the way that we operate is most reflected in those three different signs. There's a lot more to a person than those three signs. There's a lot more to a person's natal chart than just those three signs. But that is the biggest stuff that impacts us on a daily basis. And then if you go down further, then you go into the interpersonal planets, which is like the Venus, how we relate with our finances, our pleasure, our loves. Then we have the Mercury, and then we have Saturn, and then we have so Saturn is kind of intrapersonal. So we've got Saturn and Jupiter, which intrapersonal means that they are connected with things that are outside of us. So Jupiter is our planet of expansion, how we expand in this life, in this world. Saturn is our restrictions and the things that are bind us in the karma, or there's a bunch of different ways that you could look at that one. And then we have the planets that are even further out than that. And those are associated with the more nuanced things within us and also within society. They're generational. They're considered generational planets because they're more obviously seen whenever you look at it from a bigger picture with a bunch of people involved. And they move really, really slowly in a natal chart. So those are the basics. And I'm just so excited. And there's going to be so much more that I'm going to talk about with this. There are 3 signs in 5 elements, and I think that's I feel like it might be 4 elements, but air, earth, fire, and water. So there's 4 elements, and there are 3 signs in each of those, and they all have, each individual sign has a different way of expressing, a different way of even operating on different levels too. But we'll get into that more on another video. I would definitely recommend following the Chani app. I love the Chani app. She is so hope-filled and inspirational. Everything that she puts out is wonderful. And she also regularly updates content on the transits, things that are going on in the sky right now. And her app will actually give you specific information with how it fits into your birth chart, your natal chart. So, and I am going to be talking, the more that I do these videos, the more that I am going to be kind of introducing my perspective of the transits that are happening and my perspective of all the different times and the seasons that are happening throughout the year. So, because that's how I do my life. I just recently, the last year or so, started transitioning my life into mindfully and energetically connecting with the seasons right now. You might see it's bright because it's snow outside. It's winter time, which is my time. It's actually my birthday day too, so that helps. But I am going to be kind of talking about each, as we transition into all of the different signs, I am going to begin introducing, from my perspective, all the different elements and all the different ways of operating within those signs and elements. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait for you to join. Thank you for watching this.